There was a specific day about 6 weeks ago when I stopped being afraid of AI, not because the fear was silly, not because someone convinced me otherwise, because I finally understood what I was actually dealing with. And today I want to walk you through that moment, because I think a lot of you are exactly where I was before it. If that sounds like you, stay with me. Let me give you some context. I'd spent over 30 years working in IT and customer support. DOS prompts, Windows 3.1. Every major shift in how we use technology, I've lived through it. So when AI showed up, people assumed I'd be comfortable with it. But the truth is, that's exactly why the fear hit harder. Because when you've spent decades building expertise and suddenly you hear that expertise might not matter as much as anymore, that's not abstract. That's personal. And I'd clearly had a reason to distrust it. When AI first came out, I tried it. I asked it to help me design a timber deck. What it gave me back looked perfect, detailed, professional, confident, and completely and utterly wrong. Supports were spaced incorrectly. The materials list didn't add up. If I'd built that deck, it wouldn't have been safe. It wouldn't have helped me. And it all told me that like it was a fact. That struck with me. So I walked away. Between that and a pretty underwhelming experience with AI tools at work, I wrote it off completely. Then my son started talking to me about AI. He works in AV, and he was talking about AI agents, Hermes, how all this works together. I sat there. I couldn't follow it. Not properly. Not enough to understand. Not even enough to ask a good question. And that moment, that was different. I'd been the one explaining technology for 30 years, and suddenly I was on the outside. That was the crack. Drop a comment if you've had a moment just like that with AI. When you realised you weren't keeping up. I read everyone and have helped shape what I make next. I didn't make some big dramatic decision. I just thought, I'm going to give this a proper go. Not a quick test, not another lazy attempt, a proper go. And this is where everything changed, because what I discovered is this: AI isn't something you master, it's something you talk to. That's it. No coding, no technical background. And if you ask it a question, you can use this. But here's the key thing I got wrong the first time. The deck failure, that wasn't AI being unreliable. That was me giving it nothing to work with. No context, no constraints, no real detail, no location. I basically said, build me something, and expected it to figure out the rest. That's not how this works. And honestly, that's not how people work either. The quality of what you get back is directly tied to what you give it. Context, clarity, purpose. Once I understood that, everything changed. Within a couple of weeks, I was using it every day, writing emails faster, understanding things I used to avoid, working through problems more clearly, not replacing my thinking, but supporting it. And that's the moment I knew the fear had shifted. I was showing my son what I'd set up, custom instructions, rules that guide how AI responds. One of the key things I added was simple. If it's not certain, say so. This needs verifying. I'm not fully sure. But that's not a default behaviour. You have to tell it to do that. My son didn't know that. And in that moment, I realised something had changed. I wasn't behind anymore. I was inside it, learning it, using it. So let's make this simple for you. If you're a complete beginner, here's how you start today. First, ask one simple question. Anything. How do I write a better email? Explain AI to me in simple terms. Help me plan something. Secondly, treat it like a conversation. If the answer isn't right, say, make that simpler. Give me an example. Try again. And thirdly, add the context. The more you give it, the better it performs. That's the unlock. Now, here's a quick warning. Here are the biggest mistakes beginners make. Thinking you need perfect prompts. You don't. Giving up after one bad answer. Don't. and believing you're too late. You're not. Let me say that clearly. You are not behind. You're early in your journey, and most people are still figuring this out. Your advantage: experience, judgment, common sense. AI doesn't replace those, it amplifies them. Now, I'm still honest about this. The risk didn't disappear. AI can still get things wrong. My Dex story proves that. And yes, jobs are changing, especially in IT and customer support. That part is real. But learning this, that puts you in control. Not avoiding it, but understanding it. My brother held on to his Nokia flip phone for years. He didn't want a smartphone. He didn't see the point. But now, he uses it for everything. He's completely flawed. That's what our generation does. We adapt. AI is that same movement. And the only way through the fear is to take one step towards it. So here's your next step. Don't try and learn everything. Don't try to catch up overnight. Just open AI. Anyone, it doesn't matter which one, and ask one question. That's how this started for me. And it might be the moment everything changes for you too. And finally, you are not too late. You are right on time. And I'll see you in the next video.